Hey guys, welcome to the second episode of Silencing the Fat Girl Inside. I am Tera Norberg, the creator of GirlGoneHealthy.com, and I first want to start out by saying thank you so much to everyone who stopped by and watched the first episode of Silencing the Fat Girl Inside and took time out of their day to leave some awesome feedback and send messages and emails and let me know that I'm not the only person out there who is just a touch obsessed with the scale and maybe allows that number to lead my life and feel like maybe it's a target on my back that everybody can see and not just me. While this whole series isn't going to just focus on what the scale says and scale obsession, I do want to touch on that just one last time today, and then we will be ending our series on scale obsession with a little test. And I hope that after I show you guys my commitment to giving up my scale obsession, that you'll join me. But first, I just want to chat with you and kind of sort of let you know how I got to this point. As I talked about in last week's episode, I did lose 100 pounds from December 2008 to December 2009. That weight loss was relatively easy. When I say easy, the pounds seemed to just melt off. I wasn't really obsessed with weighing myself. I honestly didn't even really get on the scale. I didn't feel the need to. When I looked at myself in the mirror, I could actually see the physical changes. My husband was complimenting me all the time because the changes were drastic. They seemed to be happening almost weekly because I had spent so much time and such a good amount of my life so heavy. Family and friends could see it. So, it was like a gigantic ego boost, the entire time. So I think that's what was playing into it. Why I didn't feel the need to weigh myself all the time was because I was getting the constant feedback. I could, just sort of go out in public and, meet up with friends or see family that I hadn't seen in a while. And they were my affirmation if I wasn't seeing it myself and letting me know that, I was on the right track, that they could see the weight loss, that it was working, what I was doing. And, and aside from that, the weight really was coming off. Whereas this time, with this weight gain that I had experienced, I honestly didn't know why I had experienced a 40-pound weight gain when things in my life really hadn't changed. Birthdays came and I celebrated, and we had date nights and I indulged, and holidays came and I ate, but that I always went back to working out, and I always went back to logging what I was eating and logging my workouts and obsessively logging what I was eating and obsessively logging my workouts, and always making sure that I was staying within that calorie range and burning tons and tons of calories. And so it didn't make sense to me. And I went to doctor after doctor, and there's actually a post on GirlGoneHealthy.com chronicling all of these doctor visits. I heard the words, "You have a thyroid issue," one doctor, so he put me on thyroid medication without even checking my thyroid. And then I went to another doctor and they checked my thyroid. There was no thyroid issue, so I'd been taking thyroid medication for no reason. And then another doctor decided to put me on steroids. And then another doctor tried to tell me that I had cancer. And then finally, I found Dr. Stephen Pederuti and the Pederuti Center, and he was the first doctor to actually sit down and listen to me and say, my eating isn't great all the time. I do mess up, but it's pretty good most of the time. I work out really hard. I live a pretty athletic lifestyle. I don't know what's going on. I need your help. And come to find out, my body was chemically not working right, and it was really hard to accept that I needed that outside help. And while diet and exercise is the absolute key to losing weight, sometimes we do have to seek out other methods. Just because Auntie Jane or, your coworker Steve or your neighbor Linda or whomever lost weight using Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, eating paleo, going gluten-free, they turned vegetarian, they juice all the time, or they go on 3-day fasts or do these 5-day detoxes, doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Your body isn't made like other people's. Your body isn't made like mine. It's not made like anybody else's. And sometimes we have to seek out that medical guidance and have some testing done, and we find that it's on a deeper level. And so I encourage you, if you're not in the Rhode Island area, to seek out a doctor who's willing to take the time to sit and listen and go through these tests with you. And if you are in the Rhode Island area, I encourage you to seek out Dr. Stephen Pederuti and the Pederuti Center and find them and have some testing done so that you can get the help you need and get on the right track. Now, here's where we're going to have some fun. I told you earlier that I was going to give up my scale obsession. I'm not totally going to give up my scale obsession, but if you watched last week, I told you that I had 2 scales in my house. So here's what we're going to do. This right here is one of 2 scales in my house. See? One of 2 scales in my house. I'm going to take this scale outside, and I'm going to do some pretty fun stuff to it. I think you're going to get a kick out of it. You ready? Let's go.